What's up, everybody? Jackson here today with my little brother Chubbz.
Hello, everyone.
And this was supposed to be an Anthem video, and how, in our opinion, from everything we've seen, this game is going to be a colossal fucking disaster piece of Destiny-like proportions. But we're not going to be doing that anymore because, frankly, I'm sort of fucking pissed off. And the reason I'm pissed off is Bobby Kotick, there's this hashtag FireBobbyKotick, who is the CEO of Blizzard Entertainment. Let me start by saying I could give a fuck less about this guy. I don't give a shit about him or his fucking rich wife and her fake titties or his spoiled fucking children who go to a private fucking school. I don't give a shit about that. All I'm gonna say is, in my estimation, this man did nothing to lose his job. If anything, he secured it. Okay? So let's talk about the people that were fired. And then let's talk about the people that were hired, because a lot of people are talking about this 800 people that were fired, and they're not mentioning that none of these people were involved in the game development part of Blizzard. None of these people were coding games, making better games. And as someone personally who could give a fuck about esports, so in the words of J. Allen Brack, who is I don't know who he is, president. He's the president of Blizzard. Over the last few years, many of our non-development teams expanded to support various needs. I don't know what that means. All I know is he said non-development teams.
Yeah.
So non-development.
To support various needs. So that could be anything.
Okay, they fired these. He said these programs staffing levels got out of control. We had more people than we needed, so we got to let 800 of them go. They're also gonna, and these employees that are being laid off, they're not getting kicked out of the door with nothing to show for it, okay? They're leaving the company with a comprehensive severance package, continued health benefits, career coaching, job placement assistance, profit sharing bonuses for the previous year. You know how many jobs I've gotten fired from where I got a single inch of that? Fucking zero. So I don't give a fuck about these people's problems either. Alright? Because the last fucking job I was fired from, I didn't even fucking get health insurance. And that's why I was fucking fired. Because they didn't want to hire a full-time person that they'd have to give all this shit to. No, they hire temps, and then they keep them for the allotted time they're allowed to keep them without hiring them, and then they fucking fire them. So I'm so goddamn sick of everyone bitching and crying over these 800 employees that weren't even involved in developing fucking video games, weren't involved in making video games better, obviously, when you look at what Blizzard's been churning out the past fucking several years. Right? Not involved in that at all. And they got severance package, continued health benefits, career coaching, and job placement assistance, as well as profit sharing for the previous year. Fucking why? Give me your problems for a day, motherfucker. I'll take them.
Well, and here's the thing is, yeah, it sucks that you lost your job, especially if you're somebody
Why? Fuck them. Well, I'm a goddamn gamer. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that act like I give a shit about people who are hired by a game company who aren't making games.
Yeah, they're not.
I don't give a fuck.
They're not developing the games. They're not making the games better. Like, some of them are probably public announcers for esports. Some of them are probably coaches for esports. Like, they cut their esports budget by a shitload. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Well, they can't sustain it because they're not raking in enough money, and so instead they're going to lay off these people, bring in however many developers, and hire.
That's where we're going to get into it. But first, let's talk about the other thing that people are talking about in relation to these people getting fired, is that Bobby Kotick, the reason he deserves to be fired is because he said that they made profits, right? But they didn't make the projected profits.
Right. They had their best-selling year, but that wasn't what was supposed to be.
Now, these fucking idiots would have you believe, idiots like Jim Sterling, who I unsubscribed to today because fuck him. These idiots will have you believe that the reason he should be fired is because he reports them making a profit, but since the projected revenue was too high because of evil capitalism, they fired these 800 poor innocent fucks with nothing to show for it and didn't do anything for them. Yeah. These poor 800 people who don't even make video games.
Kicked them out on the streets to live homeless.
Why is there a projected revenue that's not being met? That's what we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's where we go to the free market system. And what Activision and Blizzard did was just fill the void that the market wanted. The market, over the past 5 or 6 years, the video game market I'll just pull the easiest example. Fortnite is a free-to-play, one-game mode, and it made over $1 billion in a month. The market is telling you something with that, and Blizzard is filling that. What do you get from Blizzard Activision? Overwatch, Call of Duty, fucking all these games full of skins and shit for these little fucking spoiled cunts to buy. And why are they buying them? I don't fucking know. But they're buying them in the fucking droves. They're spending billions of dollars a month per fucking skins in Fortnite. And that's why projected revenue said it was going to be this much. Because the consumers were spending this much on skins and micro DLC. So you want to talk about who to fire? How about we fire the customers, Mr. Sterling? How about we fire the market that sent a very clear-cut message to these companies that they want to pay money for extra textures? Not just money, millions, billions of dollars on textures, on different looks for their characters.
And spend hundreds of dollars for them in the case of like CSGO.
In games that are already $60 titles. That are already these big budget games,
yeah.
Right? Where do you see this coming from? You see it coming from America. Why? Because that's where the money is. Right? Japanese developers, when they release a game, and I'm not going to say that there's none of these games existing coming out of Japan. I'm sure there's tons on the mobile. I'm sure there's a market there for it just like there is here. Because that's one thing the world isn't short on, is stupid fucking people with lots of fucking money to waste. But when you get a AAA quality title from like Square, or fucking anyone over in Japan, like a Japanese developer, 9 times out of 10, fuck it. In my case, in my examples that I can pull from, 10 times out of 10, it's a smoothed out finished product, doesn't have bugs, day one patches. Anthem, I'm looking at you, BioWare. It doesn't have all these problems. It doesn't have a fucking mixed scheduling release where if you gave us $200 more for the price of the game, you can play it a month early. You can help us in the fine tuning of the game that we've had for sale for over 6 fucking years and ain't even fucking half close to being finished yet.
Yep.
Not 6 years, probably a long time, but supposedly it was in development before Destiny. So if that's true, that ain't fucking far off.
Oh yeah. And if it was in development before Destiny, that is ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, from all of the things that I've heard about Anthem, it's gonna be worse than Destiny.
But what is it?
But better than Fallout 76.
What is it? Is it EA sucks and fuck EA and let's throw out that hip to be cool internet bit?
It's every single game is like a rock being thrown into a body of water, and the ripple effect is affecting all of these other companies and all of these other games, and everybody is paying attention. Like, we're gonna pretend that these companies aren't sniffing each other's asses, chasing the latest trend. How many fucking, like, Battle Royale games do we have?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, every single game that comes out on the market, whether it does good or bad, is having the same ripple effect. And everybody's paying attention.
And what are the top earning games?
Games as a service.
Exactly. What are the games that people are still talking about?
Games as a service.
When you fucking buy Anthem day one and you download it and it's a pile of shit, can't even call it broken because it was never finished and fixed to begin with. When that happens, you don't blame EA. You don't blame BioWare. You blame everyone, and this is me included. This is Chubbz included. This is our brother Chris included. This is a lot of people that I'm talking about here. You blame those of us that spent money and time in Destiny, that spent money and time on microtransactions in Destiny, that spent money and time in Destiny 2, spent money and time on Destiny 2 microtransactions, spent money and time on Overwatch, spent money and time on Overwatch's loot boxes, spent money and time on Hearthstone, spent money and time on Hearthstone card packs, spent money and time in Heroes of the Storm, spent money and time on Heroes of the Storm skins. Mm-hmm. That's who you blame, because that's what you're getting. You're getting what these companies perceive that you want. And on the flip side of this 800 people that were fired who aren't in game development at Blizzard, that I don't know, they could be fucking cosplayers for all I know. They're not making games. They're not involved in game development at all, according to this. And if that's true, which I believe it is, since they also happen to just hire 200 actual game developers to work on the fucking Diablo series. Oh, you know who else they hired? Oh, I forget his name. I'm gonna butcher this, and I apologize. Sebastian Stepien. I'm sure I butchered that. I apologize. He was the co-creator. He was the director.
He was the creative lead.
He's the creative lead for Witcher 2, Witcher 3, and Cyberpunk 2077. So that tells me that Blizzard, right now, is in better shape than it was. And why is that? Oh, because they announced Diablo Immortal, and as one, the market said, no!
We don't like this!
This isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we thought you'd give us. And Blizzard reacted immediately. They fired 800 non-essential, non-game developers and hired 200 game developers. And in what is my opinion, one of the best game directors, if that's what he did, he's one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
Because Witcher 2, Witcher 3, both of those games are fucking amazing. Witcher 2 has some problems, right? Witcher 3 too,
oh, yeah.
But they're not narrative problems. They're not content problems.
But in the creative department, they're freaking spot on.
Fuck yeah. So give that man a job. I don't care if you gotta fire 300 people who are working at esports. Fucking jerking off streamers and fucking influencing people and doing this PR bullshit. Maybe some of those were psychologists. Fuck them too.
Maybe statisticians. Sit there and tell you, oh, well, this game is projected to do this well based off of this genre. So basically, if you take these game elements and make something cloned off of that, then you will project this amount of earnings.
Yes.
Like, get rid of these people.
Basically. Yes. I'm nearing the end. You got anything more you want to say about this?
Another thing that I just want to point out is this is the free market. You know, we're blaming capitalism for these issues. When capitalism works, right? Because capitalism can be corrupt. We've seen it with all these different companies. Like, the games industry, the E3 game show, every single person there, every single person that you read a news story about video games, they are being paid by the very industry that they are reporting on.
Yeah.
Right? It would be essentially the government paying a bunch of journalisms to give us the news. You know what I mean? That's not how capitalism works.
Yeah.
It means that someone separate who is neutral can report about this in a objective way. Like, you don't have an opinion.
Well, it doesn't even matter.
Way.
You could do it in a completely subjective way. You could put your opinion in there.
Exactly.
You could be like one of those.
But as soon as you're getting paid by the people that you are reporting on, that's what we call corruption.
Well, that
is what we call. You are right.
The thing is that capitalism isn't the most perfect system ever, but it's the only one that's the closest.
Yes, and
everything else has failed.
Exactly, and it brings up games like The Witcher. You know what I mean? Like, if The Witcher was a subpar video game and narrative-wise ended the same way as Horizon Zero Dawn, where you play through it once and you're done, you know, no. But it adds that replayability, and it does so many things that it caused CDPR to be a huge company. They're rich as hell off of 3 fucking video games. And look at other companies. They're doing it in the same amount of video games. That is capitalism, because the market is responding well to a good product. And that product is going to stand above all the other products.
And it's not like Activision Blizzard are taking like other companies and saying, no, you can't have that game. You can't have that game. You can't make that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They never tried to stop Paladins from being a thing. They never tried to do any of that. It's because that's what it is.
Yes.
A better game will come along, and that will still it. Just much the same way we've seen Apex Legends take off as the new Battle Royale fucking be-all game mode.
Yes.
It's because those dudes over there, I can't remember the studio name, but Titanfall developers, they saw that PUBG was hugely popular, and they said, what if we did that, we put our own spin on it, and we make it functional? Yeah. And we make it not have server issues. And we make it not have cheaters and botting allowed. And we do a better job of all that. And it fills that role, much the same way Fortnite did. But Fortnite didn't do it as well as Apex Legends because Fortnite's completely different, not only stylistically, but also in gameplay, being a third person. Apex Legends is the first one to come along, albeit Black Ops Call of Duty 4 with their blackout mode.
Right.
But Apex is the first game to come along, be free to play.
Like
and be completely functional. Yeah. Be completely good. So they're going to do well.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That's capitalism.
Yeah.
You have the products that aren't doing as good. Well, they're not the better products. They're kind of lesser. And then you have the good products, the ones that stand above and beyond all of those. Well, guess what? They're going to do good.
And to Jim Sterling, who is saying that capitalism is the fault of the products being received, and these wild expectations by executives are coming out of nowhere. You're foolish. These are coming from the demands of the consumer and what the consumer is spending money on. So how about instead of standing up on your pulpit and bitching about the motherfucking country you inhabit and the place you obviously decided to come live? How about instead of that, you bitch out the customers who are wasting their fucking money on bullshit things that aren't worth their time. Because, and it's sad, but I'm the type of dude, at this point in the game, I would rather take the $60 that I would spend on Anthem, which isn't even finished, and I'd rather take that and spend it on 6 games that came out 5+ years ago that are better in quality. How in the fuck is that where we've gotten? Look at where we gotten, how we got here. Because people with too much money and not enough goddamn sense in their brains have dictated what the market should deliver. And that's been fucking day one pieces of shit that aren't finished, that fucking get people hyped on, oh, but this update, bro, this update fixes all of the problems in this fucking $90+ product. That then, in turn, has free-to-play currencies that you can only buy in odd amounts so that you're incentivized to buy more because now you just have $200 you can't spend chilling there. Because you can't buy $5 worth, you can only buy $7.50 worth. Because the mind fuck. And they're mind fucking you. And you're stupid. Stop giving these companies money. Stop bitching about CEOs doing their goddamn job. Start bitching about the real problem. Act with it with your wallet and you'll see things change. Just like now, the next Diablo game we get is gonna have the fucking creative director of Witcher 3 working on it and is going to be bolstered by 200 more developers because they got rid of 800 people who were not working on games. Boo fucking who. Cry me a river with your fucking health package. Go get some Xanax for fucking free. Cry it to your fucking mother. Send you to your private fucking schools. You bunch of fucking babies. That's it for me, Jax.
Chubbz.
Everyone else, basically everyone who's still here. Because they would have left a long time ago if they weren't. Thanks for hanging out, watching, supporting the channel. It means a lot. We're doing content as we can do it when we see things that we're going to do. We're going to be red boxing Anthem. We're going to be playing it together. We're just going to get one copy and just fucking, swap level by level, die by die. Old school shit.
It probably won't take long from everything that we've heard.
Well, fuck, we may get put into the last boss fight at level 3.
Yeah.
But we'll have a video on that. We're going to hold off on, obviously our prediction, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
It's going to suck.
I mean, you already see them talking about patch notes, updates, like updating the controls
Here's news.
for PC.
BioWare has news on their first big update. Motherfucker, how about you ship a finished game?
Yeah, why is there a need for patches? It's not even out yet.
Just make a fucking game and sell it to me, motherfucker.
But Anthem's new update
Jesus.
adds PC controls. Okay, so you've given it out to people, but you forgot to fucking put in PC controls? Just...
God bless America. God bless all you. I love all of you. I hope only good things happen in your lives. Till next time, stay awesome, everybody. Stay safe.
Keep kicking ass.